Like he mad at me. Shit, get mad at Bush and shit. I get mad at me, shit. Cause he say he come down here quite a lot, you know.
Yeah, he do. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, nigga, I'm like, you know.
Right. You lie.
Hold up, dude, don't go lie again.
I got to, but I'm. You lied, bro.
He should have gave me some water or something, you know what I'm saying? This is Brown's Neighborhood Podcast. That's my nephew. You supposed to let me know when you gonna hit it, man.
There you go.
Come on, let's get rolling then. Get in the cockpit. Boy, you, boy, lucky we on the ground. Did you hit the record on that?
Yeah, that's next.
My nephew, something else.
Yeah.
See, you don't need a chair when you twist it back and forth.
Yeah, all right. I'm gonna sit in
Hey,
and chill.
you should have gave that black chair, but hey.
I think that black chair swivel too.
No, it don't.
Oh, it don't? No, I'm good. I ain't gonna move. Hey, I'm gonna keep it steady.
I ain't gonna keep it steady.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it steady.
Rock steady, man. Hey,
I don't know.
Is that on the TV? You put it in the TV?
What's that?
The light.
In the TV? No, it ain't in the TV.
Yeah, I'll tell you, that background is off the chain. Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna put it up in the high rise like up in downtown.
Yeah.
They gonna say Brown done moved on up.
Well, I couldn't even tell. I thought we had an appointment at 3 o'clock. You didn't say nothing about.
Well, I didn't know Bill was coming.
Oh, okay.
Don't worry, she ain't gonna, you know, you ain't gonna get no whooping.
No. I ain't tripping.
Come on, Buddha, get it going, because I got Eric in the house.
Let's go. Let's go.
Is you ready?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Boy, we back at Brown's Neighborhood Podcast. You know, I had Eric one time, but he wanted a redo. I got the first one though. If he act up, I got it. So he better be real good, because, you know, we don't know what he said on the first one, but hey, this time, we back, E.
Yeah, we back.
We back, boy. Eric is one of my partners. I've been knowing him ever since elementary. Wow. You know, how many people you just really keep in contact with from elementary? You know what I'm saying? Eric grew up over on Mary Street. I'm just giving you a lowdown on him.
That's right.
There's a lot of good guys on Mary Street. I grew up on 85th Street, about a half a mile away. But Eric, them, they street was like Little House on the Prairie. And a half a mile away, where my block, it got a little rougher. You know, but we still family.
That's right.
And everything worked out all right. Eric, when did you move on Mary Street?
I was born into that house.
What?
Birthday, November 28, 1962.
Huh?
My brother Kevin was born into that house. My brother Randy, they was born into that house. That's the only house I ever stayed in.
Eric, well, when did y'all buy that? You know, your mom and dad did?
My mom and dad got that house in 50.
What?
I may be wrong. I think 54.
Is that right?
Yeah, 1954. I
Wow.
may be wrong though.
In the 50s period.
Yes.
Because we in 2026.
Yes.
No, 2025.
Right.
So, man, that's almost 70 years or more. God,
They was born and raised right there on Mary Street.
is that right?
Yeah. And you know, we had the same phone number for years. And when I purchased the home, that's when we got rid of landlines and stuff. So
You messed it up.
I messed it up. And my brother said,
It would be him.
Well, you know, cell phone.
Right,
I
right.
didn't
It
want
took
no,
over.
I didn't need another bill.
You need,
You know.
well, you know, sometimes you can't get away from
Exactly,
it.
exactly.
Eric them had a football team on their block,
Yes, sir.
and they played other blocks,
Yes.
but nobody had a uniform but them.
Mhm.
So that tell you something right there. They block had money. They had uniforms and everything. If they played my street or any other street, we were just wearing our regular clothes.
Exactly. You know, we started off playing among ourselves on Thursday. Every day we got out of school, we'd meet up, do our homework,
Yeah.
meet up, play football, light pole to light pole. And so we got a little older, we started challenging other blocks. Ricardo Crump and them, Antoine and them.
Wow.
We would go out to Carson and challenge these guys that went to Cal State, LA, the old Samoan cats. 90th Street, 90th and Vermont,
Wow.
and Drew was our home field. You know.
What my question is, you know, we had a park
Mhm.
called Roosevelt, and they had a football team.
Yeah.
Eric them passed that park up, went all the way to
Salt Lake.
Salt Lake Park. Why in the world did y'all pass the park up?
Well, Christopher Wren, he knew all the coaches there at HB. So he had got us hooked up in that football program,
Oh,
you know. And so I played just one season with him and stuff,
right,
you know.
right.
And my brothers and them and all the rest of the cats on Mary Avenue, they continued playing,
Right, right.
you know.
Eric was the all-American kid, the baby of the family.
Yes.
So dad was pretty protective of him.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? You know, I was a baby of mine too.
Yeah. And we
But,
both was spoiled rotten.
Oh man, wait a minute, man.
Got away with murder. We got away with everything.
Man, why don't you just let you get away with everything? Why you gonna tell on me?
Yes.
Now look here, we in the sixth grade. No, well maybe I don't know, fifth or sixth grade. Sixth grade.
Six.
And we in the same class. And Ed was talking to me. Somebody we talking to each other. But the teacher catch me. The teacher finna come over and hit me. They don't even tell me. They just let me get hit.
No. What happened was
What happened?
we was talking, me, you, and Antoine. We didn't see her coming because earlier she said no talking. It was our first day of sixth grade, Mr. Radio. The next thing you know, I saw a ruler. No, a yardstick. Whacked me on my shoulder, whacked you, then whacked Antoine.
Well, why?
And you jumped up. What you hit me for? And I just said there, I said, I can't say nothing. My dad and mom gonna whoop my butt, you know. And so you went storming out the classroom. You said, I'm going to get mom.
Hey,
Shoot.
so that tell you I wasn't playing.
That was-
You ain't finna be hitting on me.
Mhm.
But I'm gonna go get Big Mama.
Oh, yeah.
And Big Mama gonna come and straighten some of this stuff out.
Yeah.
Eric, he had to take it like a man.
But I couldn't go home and say, I'm talking to class,
Hey,
you know.
hey, look here.
Oh, wait, boy.
Boy, look here. Pops will beat him half to death.
Exactly.
Eric, you come up in a two-parent home, which a lot of people was coming up in two-parent homes. Gary them down the street,
Yep.
coming up in two-parent homes. Y'all had a really good street businessmen.
Yes.
What did your dad do for a living, man?
My dad worked for the city. He was a concrete finisher.
Concrete finish.
Yeah, for many, many, many years.
Taking care of the house.
Taking care of house.
Bought that house.
Brought that house.
Man.
Yeah.
Well, why you didn't lay no concrete?
Man, I was on the end of the shovel. I was pulling the mud, you know. My brother Kevin, my older brother Dennis, they
Right.
became finishers.
Right.
Doing the same thing Pops was doing. My older brother, Gregory, he didn't have nothing to do with that. He went to school to become, work with Northrop and Rockwell.
Also, okay.
And Dennis became cement finisher. My other brother Jeffrey he went to the medical field.
So there's a couple of smart ones in the
Oh yeah, oh yeah. And my next brother, Randy, he became graphic art artist.
Is that right?
That's what made me take up the printing classes.
Is that
and
right?
stuff.
So you was trying to take after one of them.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Cause I don't want to do that hard concrete work.
He didn't want to do no hard work. He got hit on that football field, and he said, "That's enough of that." Who team was you on? What's the name of the
That was
team?
on the Corsairs.
I'm talking about at the Drew. Once we got the Drew.
Oh, Drew. Okay, I was on Mr. Williams and Giants. We was on the same team. And we ruled out from 7th grade on to the 9th grade.
Look at, I took care of it.
Yeah, hey, until you said Michael Houston cheated us.
Well, he did. That man.
But time had ran out in that game.
Time ran out. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
But you know, Ed, we don't lose.
No.
And we in life, man, we ain't trying to lose now. We done got older. You see, I used to just have me a little mustache. And I used to see Eric taking these pictures, his big thing be looking real nice. I said,
Yeah.
man, I don't want people to know how old I am, but I'm gonna try that.
And
You know.
And you know, when I was bare faced, I used to rub this and, see my brothers and my dad with their beards. I could wait to grow a beard. Now I hate it. So I gotta shave every day. Sometimes I used to clip it and just whack it off,
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, it's trademark for you now.
Yeah, it is.
It's a trademark for you. So Eric got on out of Russell Elementary.
Mm-hmm.
Eric wasn't getting in trouble. Eric get in trouble, boy, it was gonna be a rough day. But he would watch all of us get in trouble. He a cold brother, I'm gonna tell you that. That Eric, man, was we in any classes together?
Man, we was in a bunch of classes together. I just stayed up under the radar. I just say, let me get this education, get on out of here.
Is that right?
I remember one year, you guys had because I took all of Mr. Bush, automotive, sheet metal,
Right.
Mr. Crockett, wood shop,
Yeah.
Mr. Hurley, aviation, Mr. Hall, graphic arts. 8th grade, I waited too late to get one of those elective classes.
Mhm.
Man, I ended up I got cooking and sewing.
Well,
The only guy in there.
oh man, look here.
And I thought it was gonna be something bad, he's a
It
sick
turned out all right.
man. It turned out fantastic. I was courting and, just doing what I do and stuff.
Boy, look here.
You know.
Eric, you done all of that. You stayed under the radar.
A whole year, even at Fremont.
You stayed under the radar at
I
Fremont?
just went there to get my education
And
get out of there.
Man, this is one of the cats out of the group that was living the all-American life. But this boy was around more trouble than he could get himself into. He just missed it.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he was growing up around gangs, guys playing ball, tough, whatever. But he didn't get in no trouble.
But you gotta think, I had older brothers.
Right.
Every brother, that's Baby Thompson, I didn't have a chance to get in trouble. A lot of the guys that was involved with gangs, I hung with them, but I didn't associate with them,
Right.
I didn't hang out with them when they were doing their dirty stuff.
Right.
Because I had older brothers and mom and pops didn't play that,
Right.
So I just stayed away, we got out of school, we played football on the street.
Right.
We didn't hang out with the riffraffs and
Right,
stuff,
right.
but they're still my friends though.
Right.
Right.
So
We-
Eric, cut you off.
Yeah.
Look, you made it through Fremont. Did you graduate?
Yeah. Sports arena. Yeah.
Sportsman.
Yep, the sports arena.
Did you make the honor roll?
No, man, ain't no damn honor.
Well, man, if you
No.
ain't getting in no trouble, you should have been like an honor student.
Yeah, I was average. I was average.
Well, did you go to college?
Trade Tech. I went to Trade Tech to pursue, let me back up to Fremont. When I left Drew, Mr. Hall studying graphic arts.
Right,
That was my major.
right.
Okay. By the time we got to Fremont, the graphic arts shop, that whole,
They
it
kicked
caught on
off.
fire and it burned down. I had a chance to go like to Manual Arts
Mhm.
or to Jefferson and take up their graphic arts class.
You wasn't gonna do it.
I wasn't gonna do it. I was gonna stay at
You gonna
Fremont.
stay at Fremont. He's staying in the hood.
Yeah, but when I left out of Fremont, no, when I left out of Fremont, I went to Trade Tech and I took graphic arts over there.
Right.
A year and a half. And I had an opportunity to get a job.
What kind of job?
Doing custodian work, working at Hebrew Union College, Skirball Museum
Where is that
Institute. On 30th and Hoover, right across the street from 32nd Street Shopping Center,
Yeah.
down the street from USC.
Yeah.
Okay, I was just supposed to work 30 days.
Mm.
So my dad said, hey, you're gonna start working, you're gonna start making money, and you ain't gonna wanna go back to school. So those 30 days, because the guy I was working for, he was gonna do 30 days.
Man, wait a minute.
It's a good story though.
Well, wait a
It's
minute.
a
We're
good
gonna get
story.
to that. Now, you was a good student, or was you?
Yeah, I was average.
I
was
mean, was you
average.
kind of a smart kid or something?
Well, you know, I got by. I was a B and C. Let's put it like that.
You
I wasn't
get
no
by.
A student. I wasn't no AB student.
So why you didn't get an AE at Drew?
You had to get accepted to AE.
And
You know.
what would get you accepted?
I didn't know. I guess we had to be an outstanding student in elementary school.
Right.
Because I know I was 5th grade, I was in Miss Schraber's class.
Mm-hmm.
That was 5th and 6th grade class.
Right?
But I got in trouble with Miss Schraber. She said she gonna send me to Miss Threadgill. That was a threat. If you messed up in the 5th grade and they say they gonna send you to,
This Threadgill, you know it's about.
you know you're gonna mess up.
Now look, I'm asking Eric this because he wasn't getting in no trouble.
No.
So you should have been a good student, dude.
Yeah, you know, I was
Like,
just doing.
like no, you should have been an AE.
Yeah. Well, you know, a lot of us should have been.
No, not me.
You, Leonard, Antoine.
Not all
Oh,
of it.
How did Ron Williams get in there?
But his daddy was gonna beat him to death.
That's right.
What you mean?
Yeah.
Your daddy coming up to the school and hanging out in your class, you ain't gonna do nothing wrong. Man, what you talking about?
Ron Williams.
Ron Williams, good athlete,
Yes.
good guy, one of our alumni.
Right.
Now you can tell me about it once you got out of Fremont.
Okay, before that, I was working after school when I was going to Drew.
After school where?
Working with one of the neighbors down the street, Mr.
Working
Leon.
with a neighbor.
Mr. Leon, you know, he had this construction business. Not construction, custodial business.
Don't you get to twisting in that chair, man.
Yeah, okay.
I done told him about that.
Yeah.
And the first chance he get, he going back and forth.
Yeah, and so after we get out of school, Mr. Leon would come pick me up. You know his son, Keenan.
Yep.
Me and Keenan, we used to work with his grandfather.
Mm.
3 hours a night, Beverly Hills cleaning up these office buildings. Got $20 a night. We were working like slaves. We were working like slaves.
He was a slave.
Yeah. Well, that was way back in, you know, the 70s and stuff, you know.
Right.
But to make a long story short, I started working at Hebrew College for 30 days.
Who got you that job?
One of the neighbors' husband.
One of the neighborhoods.
Yeah. He
Got
was,
you a job.
Yeah.
Why he give it to you?
because they were looking for a youngster in the neighborhood that's dependable, And so I was that youngster that was dependable, you know.
You
So,
think he was the victim?
yeah, I was. And I started working, then he had longer than 30 days. 30 days went to 60 days. My dad came up to me again and said, hey, don't forget, you still got school. You know, you're gonna start making that money and you ain't gonna wanna go back. And he was right. I started making money. Then now I'm permanent working
At
at
Hebrew.
Hebrew College.
So you wasn't going back to school?
No, cause I was
You
young.
No, Ed, you were done with school.
Yeah, I was done.
Even though your dad was mentioned in school, you didn't want to go back.
Yeah. But you know, I kind of regretted that I didn't continue. I could have went back and continued, but
if
my
you know
hours.
you're not no smart guy, why you want to go back?
Well, graphic art's a trade.
Okay.
You know, you don't have to have be a rocket scientist to, you know, or Einstein to burn plates and stuff. You know.
Well, can you give me what burning plates is?
Okay. What
You
they're
just
just
tell the people you burning plates.
okay.
What is burning plates?
Okay, in graphic arts, you have to burn a negative. Okay, say like a newspaper. In order to print a newspaper, you have to strip. Stripping is a form of putting stories together like on a plate. Then that plate would get shot by a camera, in which that camera gonna have a negative. Then you get that negative and go into a dark room and you put this negative on a plate in which a bright light will burn that image onto the plate.
And you gonna tell me you wanted to do that?
It was simple. It was simple. And
But
so
it sure sounds complicated.
no,
bruh.
it wasn't. So the plate that you burn, now you have an image on this plate. And that plate goes on to a press. The ink and what goes on to this plate.
You gotta have
And it
patience
was-
for that.
No, it's cool though. The paper, a lot of stuff I don't remember, but I
So
remember
you wanted
most
to
of it.
work for a newspaper.
Newspaper or private corporation, you know. Cause I know my brother, he worked for quite a few different printing firms. You know, like printing posters.
Okay, but that didn't work.
That didn't work out.
Well, let's talk about what worked.
Hebrew
What
College.
worked? Hebrew College
Yeah,
worked for you.
that was my bread and butter right
Yeah,
there.
so what were you doing there?
We were doing custodian work, cleaning these classrooms, kitchens, office.
Did y'all see any kids over there? Any
No,
brown folks or anything?
where the kids come, like when they had open house and stuff like that. This was like an institution to become a rabbi.
And how long did you stay there?
About 5 or 6 years.
You did?
Yeah, 5 or 6
At
years.
Hebrew?
Yep, because my supervisor that I was working under, he had gotten in trouble with the law. So
Was he a black person?
yeah, it's a long story.
Well, we ain't finished having a long story.
No. And
So when he got fired, let me say it.
Yeah.
He got whatever.
Yeah.
What happened after that? They got
No.
rid of you?
No, they promoted me up to night supervisor now,
They promoted you.
within 6 months. Nobody else on the crew didn't want the position, so I took it.
Oh, boy, here we go.
So that's some more cheddar, ching,
All
in
right.
my account, you
Okay.
know.
So how old were you when this happened?
I started about 21.
21?
Yeah, 21.
Had you
years
found
old.
a girlfriend, anything like
Oh
that?
yeah, oh yeah.
So you was in a relationship
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
working.
Well, I wasn't really in a relationship just yet. I was courting.
You was courting.
Yeah. I wasn't
So
in
what were you courting at 20 and 19?
Man,
Well, when did you ever get a woman then?
what year was that?
Oh, man, I don't know.
No, I'm trying, because I was single for a long time and stuff.
You was?
Yeah, you
So
know,
all the
was
way
in a
through
relationship.
high school?
No, high school, it was just puppy love and stuff. You know, I wasn't
Well, puppy
like the rest of
love
those
is
guys.
Good love.
You know, I'll find somebody, go up under the bleachers. You know, it was.
Okay, you're out of high school. Puppy love over. Now you're 18.
Yeah.
Did you find
Trey.
love?
Oh yeah, it wasn't that serious. You know, I was just.
Well, when did it ever get serious, eh?
I say about 23.
I'll be damned.
About 23. That's when I
It took him
kind of
5.
settled down. You know, I
He
kind of
done
settled
went through.
down.
He done went through high school. Now he got to 18. It didn't get serious. He got to 19. He didn't get serious. And then 23.
Yeah.
Who did you meet at 23?
My son's mama. Yeah, my son's
Fell in
mama.
love.
Fell in love.
Had how many kids?
Two
He
boys.
had 2 kids. Did you
Yeah.
get married?
When I got into, yeah, we got married. When I got into the relationship, she had a 3-year-old son.
Okay,
And, you know, he's my son. You
that's
know.
right.
And so, little E came later on, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So about 7, 8 years later, we got married. Yeah.
7 or 8 years later.
Oh, probably a little bit longer than I think we caught
Well,
about.
what you wait all them many years for?
Well, you know, I just wasn't ready, you know. I just wasn't ready. Marriage, you know,
Yeah.
I wasn't really ready to get married
Why?
at such a young age.
You almost 30 now.
Yeah.
Well, what
yeah,
you was
but
waiting for?
I don't know.
You was scared?
Yeah.
You was.
Yeah.
Why would you be scared when your mom and dad married for years and years?
And they got married young, too.
Well, you should have been brave enough to ready to
Bob
go.
and Pops got, their anniversary was yesterday, come to think of it. They got married when they were 19 years old.
Well, they had a lot more heart.
Yeah. Well,
So-
back then. you know.
So, you said when you married.
Yeah.
Well, you acted like
She didn't take me serious at first. We was in Vegas.
Well, if you'd have made me wait 8 years, I wonder why.
Yeah, she didn't take me serious at first, so I said, well, we'll wait 2 or 3 more years.
Is that right?
Yeah, you think I'm joking? But it was just a joke, you know. I was drinking at the time, and
You was drinking.
yeah, we was in Vegas.
You was in Vegas drinking.
I was drunk when I proposed.
Well, then I wouldn't have believed you.
Yeah.
You don't believe a drunk.
Yeah, and so
I mean, she don't want you to marry her because you drunk. You know.
we was all feeling good though, you know. All of us.
She was drinking too.
Yeah, had a little bit, so not
Well,
as
why
much.
would you want to go get married?
Not as much as a
So
fellas.
you got little E. You got her pregnant.
Yeah,
Had little E
yeah,
when you was drunk.
yeah.
That little- I
So when
little
little E was born, I kind of slowed down.
Change your life.
Changed it.
Little E, you changed his life, man.
Yeah.
Thank God for Little E.
Yeah.
You know. You stop smoking weed and everything.
Yeah.
Who started you on that weed?
I used to look at my older brothers, man, and I thought that was the coolest thing in the
You
world.
did? Smoking.
Yeah, and I can remember the first time too, you know.
How old were you?
Oh man, probably about 16 or 17.
Boy, if your dad could hear you now, he'd get you.
Yeah, and so,
If your dad could hear you,
no, my mama
okay, well, Mom,
had to come pick us up from, Firestone.
sheriff station?
Oh yeah.
For what?
Me and Keena was up there rolling up some joints. You know, back then on 4-finger bags,
Yeah.
and we just rolling joints up on the gym field. They drew.
At Drew.
Yeah, that's when mopeds was hot.
Them niggas rolling joints up there.
On the gym field in the corner, we just rolled. Had a shoebox and everything. The next thing you
At
know,
Drew?
yeah. Next thing you know, school was out. This was on the weekend
On the weekend.
because the cats was playing football on Mary
Oh,
Avenue.
you got caught by the
The
police.
sheriff. They come running up this way, and they blocked that back gate so we couldn't get away. Keena got away some kind of way.
You got caught.
I got caught.
Only one.
Only one.
Yeah.
They knew who he was.
Look here. Look, yeah,
Yeah,
you knew it just wasn't right.
it wasn't right.
You the only one got caught.
Yeah, and
Couldn't
so
run fast enough to get away.
couldn't, my
And that gate-
moped wouldn't start.
I would have left him over there.
Yeah,
The gate was like real high.
but it seemed like 30 feet was really little.
And you
Couldn't
wasn't
climb. I wasn't on climbing.
so you'd rather go to jail.
Well, okay, they say get on the moped, we're gonna follow you. If you try to run, we're gonna run you over. So now everybody out there playing football, and they laughing, they laughing.
Look,
And
man.
my brother said, you should have been playing with us up there, messing around and stuff, you know.
Baby brother.
Baby brother.
Boy, look here. You went on that job.
Yeah,
You worked for the Hebrew people for 5.5 years.
5 or 6 years, yes.
How did you leave there?
Pops told me, he said,
Pops did.
yeah, Pops was working at, for this
He's gonna
construction.
tell you to leave the job?
Yeah, yeah, cause I was getting tired of it. You know, I got a lot of my buddies' jobs there, working as gardeners.
You
doing
did
stuff.
that?
Yeah, a lot of buddies.
So you was helping folks.
Yeah, I got Ed McKenzie. I got him a job working there. Ed stayed around
So
the
why
corner from me.
Pops gonna tell you to leave the job?
Because I was getting tired of it, and he said I wasn't learning nothing. I wasn't growing, doing the same thing. Anybody can pick up a mop and mop a floor. So he was doing construction work for this company called Lauren Built. Lauren Built was a subsidiary from National Lumber.
Okay.
So what they did was build stores, did repairs, set up displays and all that good stuff. So Dad told me, he said, come on over here, you can learn a trade, you know.
And did you learn?
I learned a lot. Learned a lot.
It was a little bit more hard work.
But it was cool, I was okay with it then, because I was much older and much more mature then, you know.
So how long did you stay there?
We stayed there, I stayed there for about 5 or 6 years until they went bankrupt.
Mm.
You remember National Lumber?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So when you married at the time?
Yeah, I was married at the time.
Married with how many kids?
Just 2 boys.
2 boys.
Yep, 2 boys.
Well, one of them hers before you had it?
Yeah, yeah. My oldest one, PJ. Yes.
Okay. So now,
And National Lumber, that's why I used to run across Leonard all the time over at the Culver City store. So we worked at all the stores. When I first got hired in, they was working on the Fontana store, building from the ground up. And that's when I came on in,
Okay.
doing everything.
so National Lumber went out of business.
Yes,
But your life gotta get cranked up.
big time,
You know,
big time.
you married,
Married,
kids,
kids.
job go out of business.
Yes, yes. Now I'm doing, me and Pop's doing handyman work,
You working with Pop,
working with Pop, helping him out and stuff.
cause you need some money.
Exactly. But I worked for the post office as a casual for a hot second, you know. Then once that time ran out, I started working for the Long Beach Naval Shipyard.
Well, why you didn't stay there?
What,
Were you
the
alone?
shipyard?
You could have been a longshoreman.
No, we was working on military ships. What we was doing was totally different from a longshore.
Oh, okay.
Longshoremen worked with the containers. We worked on the naval ships. And so I worked there until Ronnie Reagan closed that place up. That military alignment is to save money for the
Well,
United
look here,
States.
man. You done already done left school, you didn't go and get you no education,
Yes.
and you just jumping from one job to the next.
Good job.
Do a good job,
All my jobs was good jobs.
making money.
Making money.
Man, your wife gonna get you though, cause she's like, man, you keep these jobs keep going out of business.
Hey, I didn't have no, I
You didn't have no control of
didn't
that.
have no control. But I tell you what, when I was working at the Long Beach Naval Shipyard, I got a job working for UPS. I was working both of those gigs. I don't know if I was going to UPS or the shipyard.
Hey, you sure had a lot of jobs.
A lot of jobs. A lot of jobs.
Well, when did you ever get to going to be working at the school?
Okay, the school district came later on.
Later on?
Later on,
Well, you sure got a lot of experience before you got there.
yeah, I started with the district in '96.
Is that right?
'96, I started at LA Unified, started
Well,
building.
don't jump to
Okay,
the school.
okay.
What other jobs? How many more places did you work? About
Uh,
three?
when the shipyard closed down, I worked with this private firm from New
God.
Jersey,
Doing what?
changing out residential and commercial water meters. You know the water meters that's in front of your house,
Yeah.
where they shut off?
Yeah.
I was doing that. And I did that for about a year.
Who did this cat done a whole lot of jobs?
Yeah, I worked. I worked.
You-
And my mom and pop was proud, you know.
They
all of us, all my brothers, we all had.
Well, Kevin then was kept doing the same work.
Yeah.
You should have started working with that cement.
Yeah, but you know, after a while, it breaks you down.
With that cement?
Yeah, boy, it breaks you down.
You
You know.
didn't want to get broke
No,
down?
I didn't want to get broke down. But Kevin, my older brother, he had 30 years plus doing concrete work.
Okay,
Kevin-
well, let's see.
Kevin-
Look here. We want to know how many more jobs you got before
Oh,
you got to the school district.
yeah. Okay, after the shipyard shut down, I started working, changing out those meters.
Right?
And after that, that's when I started taking classes for LA Unified School District.
Who told you about the classes?
Gilbert McGowan.
Boy,
Yeah.
life finally gonna make a turn.
Yep.
He has some good jobs, but it's finally gonna make a turn for him. Cause he just going from one job to the next.
Yep.
Good kid, should've went to college. You know, everything just going good for him. He only went to jail cause he, not to jail. but-
Well, they hold
Yeah, but I don't want him to think he went to jail. He didn't go to jail. They just detained him.
Yeah. Try to scare me straight.
And then escape.
Yeah, a little bit.
Well, you know that scared you.
Well, I wasn't behind no bars. I was behind a wooden door with a little peephole in it.
Man, if they would have pulled me up in the police station, I would have been scared.
Oh, scared straight. And moms had to come get me. My mom
You was embarrassed.
and my brother and Derek Pearl.
Wasn't you embarrassed?
No. Because they was laughing at me. My brother and my mom said, you wait till your father get home. You tell him what happened. But Dad already knew I was smoking weed.
You did?
Yeah, he knew I was already smoking.
Boy, look here.
But I still had to tell him anyway.
So Gil helped you.
Yeah, Gil helped me.
What made him mention it to you?
No, Gil was telling everybody in the neighborhood, go down to Fremont.
How was Gil getting over to your street? Gil was over by my on
On the 86th and 87th and Compton
Yeah.
Avenue. But Gil was always over there with the fields all the time.
Oh, was
he
he?
was always down the street.
Okay.
You know, then that was the boring end going towards Firestone. 87th to 89th, that was the live wire of Mary Street. you
Right,
know.
right.
And so Gilbert, he was already working for him, you know.
Right.
Gilbert probably already had about 10 years in.
Yeah.
So he
I couldn't believe he was a window washer.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, rest his soul,
Thought he
you
was
know.
lying.
Yeah. So I went down there, a whole bunch of us went down there, you know, but they wanted to keep partying on the weekends and stuff.
So you took the custodian class, the buildings and grounds.
Building B&G classes
Yeah.
at Fremont High School every Saturday.
I took it too.
8 hours.
I took it too.
And I loved it. You know,
It changed your life.
changed my life, man. Then after that, which I took heating and ventilation.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Johnson.
Was that the buildings and grounds guy? Was it the black guy still teaching the class?
I had Ed Watson,
Yeah, what?
and you probably had Tuggle.
I think I had
Yeah,
tough.
Tuggle. I think he's still teaching
Yeah,
in
Yeah.
East LA.
I think so.
Then after I took my heating and vent, I went on to take supervision and schedule. I just knocked everything out at once. You take those courses to become a supervisor.
Did you become one?
Not really. Not really.
You
Because,
didn't want to be a supervisor?
yeah, I was working my way to become a plant manager.
Okay.
And that didn't work out. So once I got my foot in the door, I started taking tests for a painter, a sheet metal, you know, I didn't have experience,
Right.
plumbing, just get your foot in the door.
Were you still married?
Yeah, I was still married.
How long did you stay married? Yeah.
We had separated.
After how long?
I think 10 years into the marriage, or not even that, probably about 8 years into the marriage.
8 years into
Yeah.
marriage. So you was together 8 years before marriage,
Yeah,
and then 8 years doing marriage.
yeah.
What made you get separated?
Well, it just, things didn't work out.
Why they didn't work out, Eric?
I don't think I was ready.
You don't think you was ready?
I don't think I was.
You was already with us 16 years.
Yeah, that's
Well, how you gonna figure, you took you that long to figure that out?
It took a long time.
You were you in love?
Yeah, I was in love.
So you fell out?
Yeah, kind of, sort of.
Why did you fall out of love, Eric?
Because the happiness wasn't there no more.
Why the happiness wasn't there?
Because I
It's
was.
time for you to answer up to some of these questions. You ain't finna just have me to, Brian, I'm running. What happened? Did something happen?
No, I just wasn't.
Ain't nothing
ready.
gonna happen. You gonna tell the lady, it's time to separate.
It was time. It was time.
But what went bad?
Well, the love just wasn't there no more.
So you just fall out of love that easy?
Yeah.
But look here, Ed.
Things happen. Things.
What did anything happen to make you fall out of love?
Um,
I know you don't want to say it, but something had to happen.
Yeah, it was just something, extracurricular activity on my part.
You was doing some cheating.
Well,
There ain't no were you cheating? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay, then let's move on, man, because you will be playing with my mind now,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
an extracurricular activity,
Yeah.
like you was over just, lollygagging.
Yeah.
What made you cheat?
I just happy.
No, what?
I just wasn't happy no more,
Why you wasn't happy? She wasn't having sex with you no more?
No, we was having sex.
It wasn't good to you no
Oh,
more?
it was good. It was
It
good.
was still good, but you
Yeah.
want to go somewhere else?
Yeah, man.
Why in the world would you want to do that? It's already good at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wasn't ready. Just wasn't ready.
You was ready, you said I do,
Yeah.
and it still was good to you?
It was good to me. But I
And you
strayed.
had little E?
I strayed a little bit. I strayed. And I messed my marriage up.
Yeah, what little hussy made you leave? Go over there and get her.
It wasn't even worth it.
I know it wasn't,
It wasn't even worth it.
but how did she window you in?
Um,
Don't do it, Eric.
yeah.
You gonna have to come out of that out the well, Brown.
My conscience told me, you're about to mess everything up. And I messed up.
Look at me.
Yeah.
What made you go do it? Was she fine or something?
It was just,
Oh, you just went and cheated with an ugly lady.
no, she was okay.
You had sex with her.
Yeah.
What turned you on?
It was just her personality. That's what.
Man, boy,
Well-
a personality made you cheat.
Yeah, and her.
Yeah, but look here, I'm tired of that. I'm tired of that.
Well, you should have put me on. You should have put me on the spotlight.
Look here, we done played cat and mouse long enough now. It done turned what time? It's getting about after dark. I bet we need to change the sign. We in Brown's neighborhood, but we need Brown's neighborhood after dark. Cause Ed done cheated. And how did she find out?
Oh man, it was.
Man, quit that, Eric.
I was slipping, man. I was,
Well, how did you slip?
this technology that we have.
If you keep
Down there.
twisted in that chair,
Well,
I told
well,
you I need to put him in one of them stationary chairs.
Well, you know,
Because when it get hot in Brown's neighborhood, he goes to swaying and trying to figure out what the next question. He just gotta shake his head. We having fun. This
Yeah.
is me and my buddy. We just gonna talk about it because I gotta get past this. You know, we gonna get past it.
oh yeah, oh
We
yeah.
gonna get past it.
Oh, yeah.
Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. We've been having a little bit, it's been really hunky-dory. Now it's time for the pressure. I didn't want to put it on. I love it. I didn't want to put the pressure on.
Yeah, you sure.
How did you get caught?
Computer. Left my computer open and I was texting back and forth.
On the computer.
On the computer.
What? What, you emailed him?
Yep.
And what did you say on the computer?
Well, you know,
I don't know, that's why I'm
it was
asking.
open, and so she could just check everything that I was,
What you doing?
what I was texting. Yeah,
So how many times did you cheat?
just that one time. That's all it took, that one time. She was through. She was through
But
after
you
that
got caught the first time?
first time.
Boy, that's why they say they call men dogs. They just shit, don't cover it up.
Yeah.
Hey, oh, Lord.
Now that's
I'm
happened.
sorry.
Yeah.
I might have to.
But you know,
No, I don't know. I'm gonna find out though.
yeah, I messed
I
up.
ain't finished yet.
Yeah,
Eric,
yeah.
I'm like, when we was in school, that's when the teachers used to do it. He sneaking doing stuff, and the teacher, Eric, you know, and he gonna be nice because he don't want him to go home and tell his parents.
Oh, yeah.
But he now done came on the Browns Neighborhood podcast. I ain't gonna put the bad stuff out on him, because that's my freak. But you got
Too
to.
late.
It's too late? Oh my God. Eric,
Yeah.
why did you make the mistake and cheat?
I don't know. I guess I wasn't,
Why you keep saying you don't know?
no, I'm seriously, I just.
You do know.
It was,
Eric, you was a
I
smart
was
man.
tired.
You do know.
I was tired of being at home, and one thing led to the next, and
What do you mean you tired of being at home?
things wasn't 100 at the house, you know.
Why was it not?
Just what? I'm not gonna put it out there because
Well, you know, I mean, somebody might need to know what happened. Was it you?
it was me. Yeah, I admit it. It was me.
So you made it bad at home.
Well, we both made it bad at home. You know, it was me. It was me.
All you.
Oh, well, somewhat of it. Somewhat of it.
You so nice, you don't even know how to, you know,
No,
you left the computer on.
that's why I messed up. That damn Gateway computer. Back in the day.
And the cell phones went out, text.
No, that wasn't out, man. That wasn't out, man.
You couldn't hit log out.
Something that happened, man, when I got up.
Was anything,
Going to work.
and you moved in a hurry.
Moved in a hurry. My daddy called me and said, "You done messed up now."
How does he know?
She called him. Called my parents.
And told him what?
That I got extracurricular activity going on.
Your golden boy done did it again.
Did it again. I said, God damn.
Oh my God.
Why me? It hurt me. It hurt me. I was hurt.
Well, why couldn't redeem yourself?
Nah.
You couldn't get help.
No,
No counseling.
we tried that, and
So you did try counseling.
we tried counseling,
And why couldn't it work then? You love it.
because there was a lady counselor. This is what she gonna say. She said, told the counselor that he not gonna listen to nothing you say because you're a female and you're gonna be on my side. And so that's how I was thinking, you know. She said, no, Mr. Thompson, if you want a male to come in there to sit with us, we can have a male counselor to sit in on this.
Well, wait a minute.
And so I said,
Let
you're
me-
absolutely right.
Can I ask a question?
Go for it.
Was she willing to forgive?
I don't know. I never did
How
ask her
you
that.
gonna be married for all this time, and you mess up, really?
She was done. She was done with me.
Well, she was done with you before that, then.
She was done with me.
My partner,
Yeah.
if you did that one time and it was a mistake, unless you had a lot of that stuff in that computer that you were saying that wasn't right now, you doing that.
No, that was the only thing. That was the only
So
thing.
you made one mistake.
But I think she went back and saw the dates of when I started communicating with this person.
But you hadn't done nothing
Well, I had done something
before,
before, yes.
so it happened more than once.
Yes.
You screwed the lady more than once.
Yeah, well, yes. Yeah.
How many times? Right.
Oh, man, I
You can't even
can't.
know.
I can't know, man.
Oh yeah, well then she was done. Yeah,
Yeah, she was done with
You
it.
didn't want to see. You made me feel like he did one time.
No. She was.
No, Eric, you made it seem like you screwed that lady one time.
No.
You did it
But
several times.
she saw the history of,
Look, I ain't gonna ask no more questions. I'm gonna ask you.
okay,
You did it over and over again.
what?
With that other lady.
Afterwards?
No. Why you was with that? You know,
Yeah,
you went and snuck with that lady a few times.
a few times, yeah.
What did that lady do to you to make you keep coming back?
Guess I was with. Boy, he got me. He got me, boy.
Hey, wait a minute. You was already whipped at home.
Yeah. I messed up. I admit it, I messed up. You know,
Good Lord have mercy.
yeah. We get along now because of the grandkids, you know.
Well, yeah, you know, I mean, you didn't do it on, well, I can't say you didn't do it on purpose, but, you know. Where did you meet that lady at?
The one,
You cheated with?
met her, at the park.
How in the world you meet at the bar?
I was at the park working out, and she was working out.
You said something.
Yeah,
How you doing?
there it is. That's all it takes. And that was it.
How you doing?
That was it.
But the crazy thing is this, E. She knew you were married.
Yeah.
Or did you lie and say you wasn't?
Well, at first I did. I lied.
You lied.
Yeah.
He's the kid that don't lie. This is the all-American kid. He didn't get in no trouble, no nothing.
None.
But you started sneaking.
Yep. That's the only thing I regret in life.
Okay, well that'll work. That'll work. So I mean, I feel like him. So let me ask this question.
Okay.
How long did that period of that other activity last?
Not long. Not long.
See, when you say that to me,
No.
you make me go to digging because you.
No, I say probably about 6 or 7 months after that. It wasn't the same. It wasn't the same.
What
But I
was
lost my family, you know, and it was kind of hard, and I was trying to blame this person for my breakup, but I can't blame her because it was me, you know.
right?
So
So you took the blame. So your wife really didn't do nothing.
no.
Well, why were you talking about she could have been part of, now,
Yeah, well, you know,
But she treated you like a king.
when we was courting, I was being treated like a king. You know, even when we got married.
No, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Oh, no, let's tell the truth. When you were courting, she treated you like a king.
Yes.
After you got married,
I was still being treated as a king.
like a king or as a king?
As a king. You know.
I'm trying to get the distinction.
Well, you know, as a king, you know, she treated me well. It was just me. It was just me. I was the one that strayed. I was the one that messed things up for everyone.
Were you treated better before you got married?
Yeah,
You were treated better
yeah.
before marriage.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
So you were still getting treated good married, but not as good as before you got married.
Right.
I mean, only you know. I mean,
Oh yeah. You know, when
are you getting? Well, wait a minute. So that ended. You back single,
Yeah.
lost.
I wasn't lost.
You wasn't.
No, because I was still working. You know, had a
Well,
income.
you
And
lost both women.
Yeah, but we were still, we wasn't gonna move back in. We were still, because of the kids and stuff, you know, I was,
So when y'all living together, or y'all separated?
oh, we separated.
Well,
That was the last straw.
That was. Yeah, that might be if she thought you was having sex
Yeah.
every month.
I come home and all my clothes out on the porch, grabbed my shit, and took it over Pop's house, you
Did Pops lock you out or let you in?
know. No, Mom's and them, they let me in.
Well, I know they
Yeah.
let you in. I'm just
Till I, you know, they would get back on my feet.
Yeah, well, you they baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. You they baby.
That was a hard time going through that.
It
It
was
was rough, you know.
Lil E over there.
Yeah,
That really hurt you.
yeah. I missed a lot of his growing up. You know, I would go pick him up on weekends.
So how old was he when that happened?
Eric was in, I think, the 8th grade.
Oh, so he was at least in the 8th grade.
Yeah.
So you were there between that 1 through,
Yeah,
13.
yeah.
Well, that's a big crucial time. Yeah. So now you get 13, now you start missing out.
Yeah. But I was still there for him.
Still there, but
with
not-
his football and all
Not
that.
being in the house,
Not being in the home.
'Cause he looked like you.
Yes.
That's your twin.
Yeah. That's my pride and joy right there.
Boy, that's it.
Yeah, that's my baby boy.
Boy, when you need to do good then.
Yeah. Well, you know, I'm trying to be the stand-up dad, you know. For my grandkids
You're doing good now.
and my other boy.
You done learned a lot.
Yeah, I done been
But
through.
we not finished.
Oh, yeah. Shoot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, you're back single. Lonely. You ain't got no woman.
Well, I have.
You dated a little.
Yeah, I could make a call.
See somebody.
Yeah, that wasn't no problem.
But that still was lonely.
Yeah, it wasn't the same.
It ain't the same. So, now, you go to a wedding. You forgot about that?
I ain't forgot about that.
When did that happen?
What year was that? What year was that? 2000.
How much longer after you separated that you went to that wedding? Because you wasn't gonna mention it.
I think we was probably still together then. No, we wasn't. I'm trying to get the dates right. Was we still together then?
You want me to tell you how you can get it right?
I'm trying to think.
Want me to tell you how you can get it
I
right?
get it right.
Where were you living when you went to that wedding?
At my parents' house.
Where you were separated.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey,
Yeah.
you was in your parents' house?
Yeah. What year was that?
I don't know what year it was, but I wanted to know when you separated.
Yeah, we're separated. Yeah, we're separated.
Okay. So you separated, and you get invited to a wedding.
In the wedding.
Well, you get invited to be in the wedding.
Yes.
You're a lonely man.
Woo.
Lonely man going to a wedding.
Right.
He might get that thing they throw.
What's that, the garter? Not the garter, yeah, the garter.
The
The
garter.
garter. Yeah, the
No,
garter.
that-
The women get the bouquet. The men get the garter.
Okay, well, whatever.
Yeah.
You at the wedding. What happened? I'm gonna let you
Okay.
tell the story.
I missed the first rehearsal. The second rehearsal was at the venue where
I want you to pick up the pace as you tell me about
And
this.
so we all lined up in formation.
Yeah.
Height.
Right,
Reach your hand out. Whoever grabbed your hand, that's who you escort.
right.
And at that time, there was a woman with pretty eyes. And I said,
Is that the
"Oh."
only thing that was pretty?
Well, she was nice.
Nice
You
what?
know,
What do you mean?
Nice complexion, long hair, nice petite,
Nice what?
petite, her
Nice body?
Yeah, body.
Okay.
And so, we did our escort and all that.
So
We
can
didn't
I
even
ask you a question?
What?
When you seen it, did it turn you on?
It was something that I could have worked with.
I didn't ask you.
But
I didn't ask you
okay.
that. I just
I didn't
said-
know. I didn't know what her status was. So Okay.
It don't matter. I didn't ask. I'm asking you when you seen her
yeah,
next to you, right? You
Yeah.
hold your hand out.
yeah,
You looked at her. Did you like what you seen?
yes.
That's all I want to know. That's it. All that other extra you
Yeah,
gonna give me,
yeah.
she might have took in all of that.
Yeah,
It don't matter. You looked at her and it looked good.
that's right. And didn't even know her name.
Well, you didn't have to know her name. You don't know people's name when you first see them. Look at it. So you was in a rehearsal
Yeah,
and you look, man, but you hadn't seen her dressed up yet.
there it is.
See?
There it is.
You hadn't seen her fixed up.
Right.
You just seen her, ready.
Yeah.
And you already was turned on. So now rehearsal is over. You have any more rehearsals?
That was it.
Yeah.
The
The next time you seen her, it was the wedding.
wedding. And that was the next day.
And the next day,
Yeah.
let me tell you
No,
how
2 days later. I think it
2
was a
days
Thursday.
later, I'm gonna help you. I'm your friend.
Yeah.
In 2 days, it was the wedding.
That's right.
You know what you felt like?
I was charged with the
You
time.
were charged, but I'm gonna tell you what you felt like. Want me to tell you?
But
You felt like it was your wedding again. Cause now you see this lady dressed up. You know when the ladies in a wedding, they dress up, right?
yeah, buddy.
Was she looking fine?
Fine as wine.
Blew your mind, I know it.
All day long.
Look here. How could she become the lady that's walking with me?
Mhm.
Right?
Yes.
I know you was messed up. You were messed up. What do you mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
You was messed up. Your name Eric Thompson, right?
So you're right.
Bruh, look here. You like to take it easy. Yeah, Brown. You got that real deep voice. Yeah, Brown. But boy, you was excited as you can get.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But I didn't get too excited.
No, look here. I don't want to hear that.
Because I don't know the history.
We not thinking about
Okay,
history.
okay.
We just in a wedding, walking down the aisle.
Yeah.
Don't you gotta walk?
Yeah. And the first thing she remembered, I said, let's do this.
Let's do what?
Oh, it was our turn to party.
Hey,
Yeah.
You didn't have to tell her that.
And that was it.
Cause she was gonna walk anyway, right? Let's do this. Let's do what?
Yeah. They still don't know each other's name.
Man, look here. You didn't have to know her name. You know why?
Well,
Your eyes had already started twinkling.
yeah, locked in on it,
Boy, you was locked in. Your heart was pounding. You know, you wasn't here to cause no conflict.
Yeah, but I had to play it cool because I don't know.
You is cool.
Yeah, but I don't know what. Was her husband there or boyfriend was
Well,
there? So I had to play it cool.
You was playing it cool.
Right, right.
But in your mind,
Mhm.
you was in your mind, let me tell you what you was saying. Boy, I sure wish I could talk to her. Man, you hated to see the wedding end.
Yeah, well.
Because you was partners for a day,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
We partners for a day. You mine for one day, for one moment, for one moment, you and me are together,
Yep.
right? You can't forget that day,
I
can you?
can't forget it. But she can't forget it neither.
How do you know?
Because she always bring this up. I didn't give her the time of day after we was partying and stuff.
Mhm.
She said I was running from table to table in all these other women's faces and stuff.
You know what that means?
What that mean?
You wasn't running in their face. She
Yeah.
just want to let you know, man, you should have been over there talking to me.
No, because she wasn't gonna let it.
Well, not, you
Even
know,
to this
just
day.
not just in my face, but,
Yeah,
you know.
even to this day she bring that up.
so it's a memorable day.
Yeah. Then she said, well, I didn't show her no interest, so she went and called her husband. So he came down there.
Is that right?
because I didn't show her no interest.
And you just ruined your night.
No, I didn't mess my night because I was gone then. I had left.
Oh, you left.
Yeah. I was
So you
gone.
didn't see it.
I didn't see it. I left.
Oh, so
I
you-
left before everything, the reception was over with.
And that was the last time you seen her.
Last time I seen her for,
After that wedding, that day, it was over.
yeah, it was over with.
Did you ever see her again?
Years later.
How in the world did that happen?
It say about 5 or 6 years later.
Is that right?
Yeah. Or it probably
Never
longer.
seen her no more. No contact, no nothing.
I used to ask my buddy's wife, cause she used to have barbecues at her house and stuff,
Mhm.
and I said, where your pretty-eyed girlfriend at that I walked in the wedding? Oh, she's married, and that's all I could get, you know, so I said, I left it alone. And so, LAUSD, we had a car show, Central and 15th Street, custom car show. So I was supposed to be meeting one of the kids, Green,
Mm-hmm.
and we was going in together, you know.
5 years later.
It was probably longer than that, probably 5 or 6 years.
Okay.
And so she was getting camera gear out of the trunk of her car. And I was just sitting in my car over there,
Just look,
kicking game, you know,
looking at her.
looking at her.
I don't want to hear no peeping game.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
looking at the lady.
Yeah, yeah,
You don't know it was that lady though.
didn't know, didn't have the slightest idea.
What were you,
Still didn't know.
What were you looking at when you see
Her nice camera setup and stuff, you know. And she had on some jeans and some boots and stuff.
her? You know what you just said.
Was camera stuff.
You gonna see the one. You gonna be peeking game,
Yeah.
and you looking at a camera setup.
But, yeah, but you know.
What? Eric,
Yeah,
she had on jeans,
yeah, yeah. And a nice fitting blouse.
so you know what you was looking at.
I was looking at those jeans.
That's what I'm saying.
Swaying in the
Why are you talking about a camera?
Well, you know, I was just messing with you. You know, well, I know you're gonna go there.
I'm sure I am.
Yeah, and so she got inside the place, so I'm still waiting, so I just got out.
You didn't know it was that lady?
That's nothing. And so,
That's nothing.
we'll get to it. So she was taking pictures, so I called her and asked her, do she take pictures for, I thought she worked for LAUSD Media. Take pictures and post them in LAUSD newspaper.
Can I
at the
ask you a
time.
question?
Go for it.
You called her.
No, when she was walking around, I called her,
You,
caught up with her to see.
how did you get her attention? Did you walk over there?
Yeah, I was smooth and going through the
Did you
aisle.
walk over there
Yeah, after about an hour,
after you got your confidence up?
I slid on over there.
I know you did, but after you
Yeah.
got your confidence.
Yep, yep.
So
Well,
you was,
well,
bruh,
right.
bruh, stop all of that. You was waiting on the right time. And when you seen her without anybody else around,
Yeah,
you slid over there.
yep, smooth.
Sneaky.
There you go. That's a better word for it.
And so you went over there. When you seen her and you got there, did you know it was her?
No,
You still didn't know it was her?
for a long time. So I asked her for,
A car.
would I be able to get a copy of this,
A copy of what?
of the cars that she was taking pictures of? Do you
Can
have
I
a
ask
business
you-
card?
Can I ask you a question?
Go for it.
Did you want the pictures of the cars you took pictures of?
Not really. That's the way of breaking the ice. That's the way of sliding on in.
Well,
Under the radar again.
I know that. I just wanted you to confess to it.
Yeah. So she said, "Yeah, I don't have a business card, but give me your phone."
Can I ask you another question?
Go for
Did she know who you were?
it. Nah.
So y'all didn't even remember who each other was.
Nope. 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 Ain't that sad?
No, it's gonna make you glad in a minute. So, how did y'all keep in touch?
Okay. I found out she worked for the district.
So when
Oh,
after that,
okay. At
let
the
me
car
ask you a
show.
question. After that date, y'all just went y'all way.
Yeah. And she
No
said she'd
phone
give me.
numbers exchanged or nothing.
No, I gave her my phone number, and she said, "Well,
How
she."
you just gonna give her your number?
Because she didn't have a business card to give me, so I said, well, here, take my number.
Take my number so
Yeah.
you can get pictures of the car.
Exactly, on the disc.
But you didn't want no pictures of the cars.
Yeah, I want a picture of the car.
And what you was gonna do with them?
Shit, put them in my VCR and look at them. A DVD player, look at them.
Really?
Custom cars. Yeah, and so, when I found out she worked
For LAUSD.
LAUSD, the Hyde Park area,
Mm-hmm.
and during that time, I was going to all the different areas, picking up supplies, dropping off supplies and stuff
And you
like that.
seen her.
And I seen her in the office, but I remember her from the photographer, taking
Okay.
pictures.
So why'd you just say hi?
Then I went into the office because she worked with the invoices and stuff. You know, she was a senior clerk.
But
And
you
so-
seen her.
Yeah, I seen her, and so it was hi, bye. Now, I go in, I speak to her, and boom, 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 boom.
Did you speak to her?
Yeah, I
Did she
was,
know who you was?
she knew me from the car show.
She knew you from the car show.
That's it, from the car show.
And you just said hi.
Yeah,
Okay, so let me ask you this now. Was that the first time you seen her over there?
yeah.
Or you knew where she was working at?
I knew where she was working at
How did you know that?
because I went into the office with some invoices, and I saw her sitting at the desk.
That's
And there was a couple more people that I knew worked there also.
right, but that's when you first found out where she worked.
Exactly.
You was like, man, that's the lady that was taking the pictures.
Yep, yep.
So now you knew where she was.
Yep. But I wasn't really,
No, you
I
wasn't really
wasn't
really.
really, pushing the issue.
I ain't say you pushed no
you
issue,
know.
but you found out where she was.
Yeah, and that's when I got my disc from Hyde Park, from that area she was working at.
What this? From the
For the
car?
car show.
She left it there?
No, she had told me she had it burnt for me.
Okay. And
And-
you,
and
she
then-
didn't tell you to get it from her, you went and got it from somewhere else.
From the job, from the job.
I'm gonna leave it over there for you.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you found out when you went over there that
Mhm.
whatever school that was, and you seen her,
It's an area. She worked out of M&O.
okay, an area.
Yeah.
And you was going over there taking care of business.
Yeah, take care of business.
Not-
But I made sure I would go in the office and speak to the ladies that was in there.
And you seen her.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's when you discovered where she was at again.
Exactly.
And after that happened, what happened?
You know, I would make runs down there quite frequently, and I would go over
Why would you make runs frequently?
because I had a lot of material to deliver and a lot
So you
of stuff to
started
pick up.
seeing her frequently.
Well, I just say hi.
I didn't ask you that.
How your day going? And that was it. You know, we
But
became,
frequently.
yeah, yeah,
And you became what?
co-workers. I should put it like that.
You became co-workers
Yeah.
that speak to each other.
Yeah, yeah, and that was it.
Okay.
And so,
Still didn't know who each other was from the web.
still didn't know.
Okay,
And
so
so-
let me ask you a question. Were you liking what you seen when you go over there and speak?
By that time,
You had no interest.
because,
I asked you a question, Eric.
no, to get to
Did
that,
you have any interest?
not really, not really.
None at all.
No, not
Didn't
really.
wasn't thinking about talking to her or nothing.
No, no.
Wasn't even in your mind on
Because I got wind that she was married, and her husband comes up there and take her to lunch or bring her lunch.
Okay, well I still would look at her.
Yeah, but you know,
You stop looking at her?
no, we became friends, but friends. You know, it wasn't no sexual intuition.
No,
and
ain't
all that
gotta
stuff.
be no sex.
Yeah,
But if the woman is pretty, she's pretty.
yeah,
That's it.
yeah,
You can't stop somebody from looking pretty.
yeah, and
And did you check out?
yeah,
Not trying to do nothing. Did
Yeah.
you still, if you going there all the time
mm,
and she's dressed up or looking whatever, different clothes and stuff, you ain't looking?
yeah, I'm looking.
You
But
still
know-
a man?
But you know, LAUSD got a policy of sexual harassment policy.
Man, now you gotta look. You can't, what you gonna do, turn your head, you can't look at her?
No, but I go over
You
to her
done
desk.
became friends.
I go over to her desk and talk to her.
Oh, you was going to the desk.
Yeah.
And she still didn't know who you was from the
Nope.
web.
And she'll walk me out back out to the work truck. You know.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
You going over to the desk. How you doing?
Yeah.
Did you do that with any of the other ladies?
No.
Why not?
Well, I'll speak to them, and that's about
Why
it.
didn't you go to their desk?
Because she handles the invoices.
So you
The
was
main
bringing the
paperwork.
invoice.
Yeah, main paperwork.
But you could have just dropped them off and you knew them other ladies too, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
You know them?
Yeah.
But you wasn't interested.
Nah.
And then once you get her the
They
invoice.
was older women.
Okay, well, let
Oh,
me,
young
can
boy.
I finish?
Yeah.
Let me finish with you. See, you kind of swift. You give her the invoices. She put the invoices down. Now you gotta go back to the truck.
I gotta get my copy first.
She make copies of them?
Yeah, she just tear it off.
Tear them off, you
The-
get your
The
copy.
golden ride.
Right,
Yeah.
so now you get your copy.
Yeah.
She's still sitting down, whatever. She walk you out?
We walk out.
Why she walking you out?
Can we just talk about everyday life, how things going? blah, blah,
Man,
blah,
look here,
blah,
man. That is not normal.
blah. Well, it was normal because
No, it is not.
she never did tell me she was married. I heard it through the grapevine.
Listen to me.
Yeah.
It's not normal. Why she walking you out?
Because she said it was her break. She gonna take a little break. So we walking out. You gotta think, she was inviting me to parties,
She what?
invited me to parties.
She did?
Yeah, but I never did go to none of them and stuff, you know.
She invited you to what kind of party?
Her 40th birthday party
Hmm.
at the townhouse,
Mhm.
a Halloween party,
Mm-hmm.
a luau at her house.
What?
Yeah, I was getting invites and stuff, you know. Like I said,
You was a nice guy.
yeah, I was that nice guy.
Nice guy.
And I never did think to hit on her or nothing. It was just like me and you, buddy, you know?
Right.
That's how it was with her.
Okay, so when did you find yourself attracted to her?
I always was attracted to her, but I would never cross that line because she was a married woman.
Right, so what made y'all more friends than what you were?
Well, she had a tragic in her life. Her
Okay,
son was tragically murdered.
okay.
And so,
And when that happened, what happened?
I was, you know, I would always go down there and try to cheer her up, you know.
Why you?
Well, you know, because I was my friend. We was friends, you know. And I would cheer her up and, you know, and I would always go there and,
Wait a minute. I'm trying to get the substance of this. She had a son that passed.
yes,
Eric gonna stop by and cheer her up.
at the job.
Well, okay, where that? So you brought invoices when you came?
Well, not really. I just made a little pit stop going by that way.
Oh.
You know, because that's when she,
Wait a minute,
Which-
wait a minute.
that's
The
what-
invoices didn't have no place.
yeah, because,
You
you know,
just stopping by.
you know, I had called and gave her my condolences when I found out.
That
And I didn't
that
talk-
should have been enough.
Yeah, and I didn't talk to her because she was off for about a month or 2
So
months.
you didn't see her for a month
I didn't communicate.
and then.
I went to the service, you know.
Oh, you went?
Yeah, I went to the service, you know. 'Cause that was my friend and stuff, you know.
You sure sound good when you say that though.
Yeah, serious though, it wasn't, no.
Man, look, look. So when that happened, you gave your condolence.
Yeah, and I would come up to her job.
How often?
When I could. If I was working at a school over in that area, I'd swing by Hyde Park. If I was working at Crenshaw, I'd swing by Hyde Park. If I was working at 59th Street, I'd swing by. You know,
Wait a
just,
minute.
you know, just to cheer her up and stuff.
Man, look at it. Man, it sounds real good. But you made it your point, man, to cheer her up.
Mhm.
I just want to cheer up my friend.
Yep,
Had no eyes for it at all.
right.
You lying.
We skipped the part though.
What part is that?
Okay. Now, before all this happened, he lost his son. I told Kenyon, I said, man, you should have been at the car show. I met this beautiful, pretty-eyed woman
At the car show.
at the car show, waiting on your ass. And I told him, I said, her name was Dara Davis. He said, what? And he said, Dara. I said, yeah. He said, fool, you escorted her in my wedding. I said, no, man. So, first thing I did was call her. I said, hey, I got something I want to tell you. I'm about to come down there. So, I said, you remember Kenyon and Tammy? She said, that's where I know you from. I said, your black ass didn't even know who I was. She said, no, your black ass didn't know who I was. And so that's when we became really close buddies.
Right.
Yeah, we got real close then, you know.
Real good friend.
Yeah, that's when I really got invited to a bunch of parties and gatherings and stuff. But I never did go to none of them, out of respect.
Right.
You know.
Right.
Even though wasn't nothing going on still.
Wasn't nothing going on, but when you digging her,
Yeah, we was cool.
you wanna look here. You couldn't help it.
I'm Tillman's son.
You who?
Tillman Tom Thompson's son.
Your daddy.
Yeah. couldn't help it.
You couldn't help it.
Couldn't help it.
Even as much as you want to say you wasn't interested, you still couldn't help. You couldn't stay away,
Couldn't stay away.
even if it was
Hey,
just being a friend,
I always look forward to seeing her
as a friend.
as a friend. And then tragedy struck.
Right. And
Yeah.
when that happened, you became closer.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
You wanted to be there like nothing else.
Yeah,
Anything you need me to do, I'm right here to do.
that's right, that's right.
Right?
Exactly. Then,
Then what?
9 months later or a year later, her husband passed away.
Oh Lord.
And you know, and I still didn't throw myself at her or nothing like that.
You had already did.
Well, not really.
Not throw yourself at it, but if you going visiting all the time, what more can you do?
Yeah, and and we
Look,
and I still
why are you trying to be so modest?
and I still
That's how he won her over, being a nice guy.
yeah, and I comfort her doing it. Her husband when she was going through that, and I went to court with her for the sentencing of the guys that took her son's life. Yes, and I was
But that happened before he passed.
right. No, I think he had passed. He had passed.
Okay.
Yeah, the husband had passed on. Yeah, he had
So you
passed.
start doing the manly duties.
Well,
No,
I was.
no,
How can I say?
no, bruh.
Yeah,
You start stepping in like you was the man.
yeah. You can say that. You can say that. And it was when we started. Wasn't no stopping. Wasn't no slowing down. We still getting it. Like we just met yesterday. Every day it get better and better.
Boy, Ruby, what they call that arrow?
Cupid.
Cupid, yeah.
Yeah.
Cupid still exists?
I'm gonna shut my ass up. Yeah.
Hey.
We done had our ups and downs, but we good. We good.
Well, you still there now. You look here. You still there.
Yeah, we good. A good woman. Good woman. Yeah, good woman.
Well, you found gold.
Hey, liquid gold. Yeah.
Hey,
Forming my mold and stuff. That liquid just
change
poured
your
through.
life. How long have it been?
And me and her been together 9 years, about to go on 10 years.
Almost been a decade.
Yep.
Your life haven't been the same.
Haven't been the same.
What?
You see the pictures we take all the time.
All the time you look like you in love.
Yeah, we travel together, man. We just have a good time, man. Enjoying life, man.
Enjoying life.
She said, I gotta hear me get my hip done so we can enjoy more life,
Boy, you try to get it done as soon as possible.
Yeah.
You gonna get it done.
Yeah, I gotta get rid of the living.
Oh yeah, you gonna do it. You know why?
Why?
Boy, look
I
here.
don't wanna miss out. Yeah, I don't wanna miss out.
You working on it.
That's
You
right.
coming down though.
Yeah, I'm coming down.
We gonna get Eric back. Baby, just hold on. Eric coming back.
Like I tell her, I said, I'm trying to get my sexy back.
Oh, you gonna get it back?
She said, don't let me have to come whoop your ass talking that shit.
Oh, you gonna get it back?
Yeah,
You on a mission.
yeah, I'm on a mission, man.
Hang in there, baby. I love it, man. I love it. This is my main man, Eric, boy. I've been working hard just to get this one love story. You know, this is love. This is a real love story.
Yeah.
You know, man, and I'm happy for you because, man, it's hard to find love. I'm telling you.
It is, man.
it's hard to find somebody that you can enjoy your life with and be there for them and they there for you.
Cause those streets.
On those streets will tear you up, man. Look here.
Chasing those
When you
skirts.
find something good, boy, you better hold on to it.
That's right, that's right.
You better hold on to it, especially as we getting older too.
Yeah, she helped me out a lot, you know, she helped me out 100.
That should make it even more, you Negro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, we good. I don't even bat an eye.
Oh no, you ain't
I
gonna
don't
bat
even
no
bat an
eye.
eye, you know.
Because you ain't finna go out and find one finer than that.
No, cause all the youngsters want, they nail, what they say, what they nail.
Oh man, look at this. Boy, when that lady get dressed up, your mind be blown.
Yeah, you know it.
Y'all love getting in swimming pools,
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Hey, every time I feel they go on a trip, they in the water.
Yeah.
You know, so man, that's a beautiful thing, man.
It is,
Pop,
boy.
Pops would be happy with you, you know.
Yeah, mom and pops, both of
Yeah,
them.
Mom and Pops would be happy with you, you know. That you know. Your brother Kevin, glad that you back taking care of yourself, getting it together.
Yes.
You know, that's a beautiful thing, man, you know, cause y'all are good, close family,
That's
you know.
right, that's right.
Good, close
The
family.
Thompson brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Thompson brothers.
Yeah, you know, so, little baby brother, get it together, boy.
Yeah.
Get it together,
Yeah.
but you getting it together, so
Oh, yeah.
that's the main thing.
Yeah.
I love it, Eric. Man, look here. I wanted the love story, and I got it.
Yeah.
But that first time he messed up. You can't mess up no more.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna do it?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah, see,
I'm
he good. He good, boy. He was going slow like he was going around the mulberry bush. I was like, man, if this cat don't pick up the pace, even a little chihuahua moving fast, and he just hiding. He was hiding, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
He didn't want to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. But
Well,
you
know.
made one mistake.
Yeah. And I learned from that mistake.
Yeah. You know, so.
I learned from that mistake.
So, Buddha, we're going to tell the Lord, thank you, you know, man, Ed,
Amen.
Ed, man, I thank you, boy. You done lived a good life, Ed.
Yeah, you know, I can say so, but I lived a great life.
You done lived a really good life.
You know, didn't have no hardships. I only had a little hardship, just a couple of months.
Right.
But I bounced back and stuff, you know. But I can say I lived a good life. You know, I can't complain about nothing.
Right.
And I thank the good Lord for
Well, you
getting
know.
me this far, you know.
Well, through school and all of that,
Mhm.
you know, mom and dad, you know, made sure you had everything you wanted.
That's right.
Got older, you worked,
Mhm.
took care of yourself and all that. You had a good life, man.
Yeah.
A lot of them cats been on drugs and everything else, man.
And I see them, man, I say, damn.
You know, drinking,
Yes.
all of that.
Yes.
So, you know, you God saved you.
Yeah, you know, I stopped all those bad habits from the he was born,
Okay.
you know. And I feel good about myself for stopping the way I did, you know. You know, cold turkey,
Right.
cigarettes, weed, and drinking.
Is that right? You smoke cigarettes too?
I'm trying to be cool. My
Yeah.
brother said I looked stupid smoking. And then they said, let me have a cigarette. And I said, no, you said I look stupid, so I had to quit all that stuff.
All that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel good.
And you know what's the trip? You and Kevin all had that same voice tone.
Yeah.
How the hell that happened?
You should hear the other brothers.
Sound like that too?
Yeah, man. Yeah. When we were younger, we used to go around, like, we go to funerals or weddings and stuff. They say, y'all singing group. You know, we get around, you know, the white folks, like, we get on the elevator and stuff. They say, y'all singing group? Then my other brother said, yeah, we're a gospel group.
But all y'all sound alike.
Yeah.
That's something, man.
Yeah.
You've got a lot to be thankful, Eric.
Yeah,
I'll tell you,
I'm
man.
thankful,
Yeah.
You know,
Got a lot.
a good upbringing in the home and
Yeah.
stuff, you know, and, you know, we fought, the
Mhm.
brothers, you know, we fought, but, you know, but we made up.
Right.
And even to this day, we all get together and do something.
Your little nephew, he's a little all-star, ain't
Xavier?
he? Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Man, he even got swagger.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
That little man got
CJ,
swagger.
CJ.
CJ, yeah.
Yeah.
CJ got swagger,
Yeah,
man.
he's something else.
You know.
That boy can play some baseball.
Yeah. He already got it in his head, you
Mhm.
know, what he wanna do, and he's disciplined about it, you know, I mean, he's, wow.
Yeah, I'm proud of him.
Yeah.
And he's a hell of a basketball player too.
Yeah.
And football.
He played football too?
Flag. Yeah. But the mama don't want him to be in no pads, cause you know, she don't want him to get no concussion and none of that
Right,
stuff.
right,
So
right.
which is,
Well, you know, baseball is really the thing. though.
Yeah,
I
baseball.
wouldn't wanna go and hurt myself playing around
Yeah.
when baseball,
in basketball, he's excellent in basketball.
oh, is
And
it?
he's a really stand-up kid in baseball.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he loved that
Yeah,
baseball.
he loved it. He loved
He
it.
loved that
Yeah.
baseball. Hey, and believe it or not, if you make it in that baseball, it pay more than all of it.
Oh yeah. And his younger sister, she's good at softball and basketball.
Is that right?
Yeah.
But that's a competitive little family.
Yeah.
They got some competitiveness over there.
Yeah,
She don't want to let him outshine her.
So they working on the third one. The third one, I think she's gonna be playing softball also.
Is that right?
Yeah,
Wow.
Santana. Yeah.
Well, Buddha, we gonna get out of here, because they're gonna keep spinning in that chair.
Okay.
I ain't gonna say nothing no more. The camera can't keep up with it.
Oh man.
That camera can't keep up with it.
Mm.
But that, boy, you look, if you don't believe in Jesus, put him in your life.
Oh.
Don't help. Don't help. We thank God for this Brown Neighborhood podcast, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, Bookie, thanks for having me, man.
Thank
I
man.
really appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
You know, we need to do more of these and stuff,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
different topics, different
Yeah.
subjects and
Yeah.
stuff, you know.
That was
You know, I have a lot to talk about, but I know we only got a certain time
Time.
limit and stuff.
Yeah.
But I come back.
yeah,
me
come
and
on
Leonard,
back and shit.
you
Yeah,
know.
and boy, you get Leonard on here with you, you sure is gonna have to talk about it.
Yeah.
He wanna be on here with you,
Yeah.
boy, that Baker, that's my boy, that man.
That's my buddy.
Yeah, man, look here, we done been through the trenches, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah,
But, we still hanging.
that's right.
And we ain't gonna stop.
No.
This is a brotherhood, familyhood, you know.
That's right.
When you've been knowing somebody this long and been with each other this long, you become family, man.
That's right.
You know, so,
Ever since Miss Stern,
yeah.
kindergarten.
God, oh,
Miss
man.
Stern.
When you look back over your life, you're like, man, I went to elementary with these guys. That was a long time ago.
And you know, it was good to see Leonard doing good, Antoine,
Mhm.
Dave.
Yeah.
You know, all of us, we
Yeah.
and we brought up together, and we
Yeah.
all still standing
Yeah,
strong,
you know what
man,
I'm saying?
toe to toe and
And,
stuff. You
and your
know?
boy had to go over there and get tips, yell the one.
He got everybody tipsy.
He had it in his car. Oh, look at Elway, you dirty, bro.
That's all right. That's my partner too, boy. Elway Patterson. He was there with us in the sandbox.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
He been on here,
Yeah.
you know. But, hey, Buddha, we're going to say thank you, Jesus, for the podcast show. Until next time, but see, I'm going to put Eric on there. I'm going to put him on there. I'm going to make sure they zoom right in on him, dude. And click. And he going to be like, oh, boy, why Brian put that out on me, man?
Oh man.
You know, but it's going to be good.
Yeah.
All right? So we're going to say good night. Thank you, God, for all you keep doing for us.
Amen.
In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
All right, Buddha.
Cut.
Cut
Hey,
it out,
Buddha.
Buddha.
Hey, that marriage part, man, you have me on the spotlight. And my ex look at this all the time.
Yeah.
She gonna say, you went over there and lied your motherfucking ass off.
Why she goes? Oh.
Is lies still on?
No,
No, Buddha.
Yeah,
look,
lies.
I just-
The line is up.
Boy, cut that line off. Hand me that phone, man.
She gonna say, boy.
Why you gonna say that, Eve? You didn't tell no story.
No, I was truthful, man. I was-
Was it still on?
Yeah, I think so.
You can't see with glass.
Yeah, it's still on like a line.
Hand it to me, boy.
Oh, man. But I don't think she know about that.
He done left shit on the computer.